Right, good evening, guys. Welcome to Bible study. I almost forgot about this. I was so preoccupied with the evening prayer and the morning prayer and the garden video. I just let this one slip my mind. So we'll try to get through this. This is Bible study. You remember last week we did Psalm 1. We had a look at Psalm 1. Now, in Psalm 2, God broadens his horizons and looks further. As you remember, Psalm 1 was about the individual, now this is about many people. So he's more concerned with the nations and stuff. So let's just have a little brief intro about Psalm 2, and we'll read the old psalm. Right, throughout history, there has been wars through every period in history, from ancient kings back in the day to present day world leaders and politicians fighting wars. And how do we feel in this day and age? Are we worried? Are we afraid? Or are we confident in God's protection? Psalm 2. The Holy Spirit inspired the psalmist about what God was planning to do in the future. And Psalm 2 is a great example. There is a sense in which David was son of God. It was definitely true. Foreign kings opposed him. And the psalm is true of David, but it is a fuller and greater fulfillment in a future event. Maybe in this day and age, in this present time, God is planning to do something, as he is concerned about people through the ages. Anyway, guys, Psalm 2. Psalm 2 is a royal psalm. It celebrates the supremacy of God and his Messiah over all earthly power. It depicts a world where nations rebel against God's chosen authority, his chosen king, the Messiah, and laughs at the futile attempts to resist God. The psalm serves as a warning against opposing God and his anointed one, which is Jesus. While offering a message of hope and refuge in the Messiah, the psalm highlights a rebellion of nations against God and his chosen king, but ultimately emphasizes God's absolute sovereignty and control over all things. Psalm 2 speaks of God's anointed one, the Messiah, who is declared God's son. This theme is significant in Christian tradition, where Jesus is identified as a Messiah and Son of God. In essence, Psalm 2 proclaims the ultimate victory of God and his Messiah over all earthly opposition, urging humanity to submit to his authority and find refuge in his chosen king. So, let's get into this, guys, then. Psalm 2. Let's read it a little bit by bit, and then we'll get understand it a bit more. So this is the old Psalm 2, 1 to 12 verses. Let's start with one then, where God says, why do nations conspire and people plot in vain? Now when he says in vain, that means like it's in vain is like useless, isn't it? It's be impossible. Verse 2, the kings of the earth rise up and the rulers band together against the Lord and his anointed, saying, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. Now, when it said the king of the earth rise up and the rulers band together, so it doesn't matter if it's like 10 people or 1,000 people rebelling against God. God is not concerned, because he knows his sovereignty rules over everything. He's not concerned about his people. So neither should we be, really. You know, when the world's gone mad or seems out of control, God is not concerned about, he's not threatened by them, because he is in ultimate control. He is the creator. So we should be also confident in God. And it says, verse 3 says, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. That means some people find the chains and throw off their shackles. That means like God, some people find God's rules rules and regulations too constricting, and that's why they don't like it. They turn their heads away against God, because they don't want to live in the godly way. They want to do what they want to do, you know. So verse 4, the one who enthroned in heaven laughs at the Lord. Sorry, the one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord laughs at them in derision. He laughs at them and thinks like, are you serious? You're rebelling against me with you in vain, because I am in complete control of everything. So, you know, it's compared to like us being angry at the sun and throwing a rock at the sun. You know, it's in vain, because you know, the sun would laugh at us, wouldn't he? You know, it's impossible to reach the sun with a rock, you know. 4, the one enthroned in heaven laughs at the Lord. The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord laughs at them in derision. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. That's where David's palace was built. So, you know, God's already installed his king, his anointed one, and people, you know, band together, kings and politicians, you know, but God is in control. Have you noticed that God warns them? He laughs at them, but not in a bad way. It's just in a way that he's surprised at them for rebelling against him. Because what can they do? It's futile what they can, you know. So he says, I've installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the Lord. Lord says, you are my son today, and I become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. So, you know, although people are fighting over land and countries, it's not theirs really to fight over, because Jesus is the Son of God, and he's been promised all this earth and all its possessions. God says to his anointed one, you will break them with a rod of iron, and you will dash them like pieces of pottery. Imagine that, he will break them with a rod of iron. Imagine that rod of iron crunching on flesh and bones, you know? And he will dash them like a pieces of pottery. You know, when you drop a vase on the floor, smash it into a million pieces. You know, so we can see that God first laughs at them, and then he warns them. So it's like, yeah, it's like a child rebelling against their parents, isn't it? You know, you laugh at them, but you warn them. You know, so in verse 9, you will break them with rods of iron, and you will dash them like pieces of pottery. So he says, therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. So what you say, you know, be warned, you rulers of the earth. So all the people fighting over bits of land and political things, that's against God's will, isn't it? So, you know, but then he says, God says, kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your your way will lead to destruction, and his wrath can flare up in a moment. So there's the ultimate warning, you know. Rebelling against God is sinful and can lead to death. That is a penalty, and death, you know. But then again, he says, like, so we're saying God laughs at people for rebelling against God. What can they do? Nothing, you know, without him. Then he warns them, and frightens them, but then he offers some grace to them. He said, "Blessed are those who take refuge in him." So, although people rebel against him, if you submit to God, submit to God, and you will be saved. You know, all he's asking is for you to submit to God. So, there we go, guys. That's Psalm 2. Then it's all about rebellion against God, isn't it? So in Psalm 1 we learned about the individual. Blessed is the man who walks in the paths of the righteous. And then in Psalm 2 he looks a little further at the nations and rulers of the earth. So but this shows that God looks at us individually, but also he looks at further afield. He looks at all the old nations. So, you know, stay blessed in the Lord, and you know, he will, you know, dwell in the Lord, and he will dwell in you. But don't sin against the Lord, or the ultimate price is death. Anyway, guys, I hope you understood that one. I don't think I explained it clearly enough, but in essence, Psalm 2 proclaims the ultimate victory of God and his Messiah over all earthly opposition, urging humanity to submit to his authority and find refuge in him. So, submit to the Lord in all your ways, and don't rebel against God, you know. So, we are blessed to have a God that we can run to for refuge. So, anyway, guys, going to be Psalm 3 next week. As we go along, we'll learn together this one. We'll learn together. I'm not really a Bible expert, but we're just trying to understand it as we go. So stay tuned next week. Next Sunday is going to be Psalm 2. Next Sunday we're going to be reading from Psalm 3. 1, 2, 3, yes. My counting's gone now, as I say. Yeah, Psalm 3 next week, guys, next Sunday. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it's something that stuck out for you there, a message there. All it's saying is submit to God in all your ways and take refuge in him, and stay close to the Lord, you know. Okay, guys? I'll speak to you next Sunday for the Bible lesson, Psalm 3. Stay tuned for that one, guys. Okay, guys. Take care now, and God bless you all. Bye bye.